What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. So, after 21 hours of failed negotiation attempts with the United States and Iran, ultimately, JD Vance went home empty handed. U.S. Navy, this was as of 4 hours ago at the time of the posting of this video. U.S. Navy will blockade the Strait of Hormuz effective immediately, per Trump. President Donald Trump announced on Sunday that the United States will begin blockade any and all ships attempt to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz after the U.S. and Iran officials failed to reach an agreement at the end of agreement to end the war during talks Saturday. A series of posts on Truth Social, Trump said most of the issue has been resolved in negotiations, but the key form here, guys, is the nuclear weapons situation. Iran wants to maintain nukes. And as I was kind of navigating through this and looking through this, I came across this video. China, see, this is the situation that happens, right? If Iran, we can't have them have nukes. But what's to stop them from going to their allies and requesting nukes? And here's something that China reportedly sent weapons to Iran amid escalation tensions. So this was posted about 14 hours ago. Let's jump into this.
Week, and there may be a new adversary against the U.S. and Israel, China. CNN reporting the communist nation is preparing to deliver new air defense systems to Iran. So joining me now is retired Marine intelligence officer, host of the Strap podcast, and national security expert, Hal Kempfer. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ashley.
So Hal, what does this report mean for keeping the ceasefire?
Well, this acts as a new dynamic. First we had a report that Russia was providing intelligence to Iran that they were using to target U.S. bases and U.S. personnel. Now we have a report that China is actually shipping in weapons, air defense weapons. These are the same type of weapons that were used to shoot down the F-15, where we had to rescue the aircrew from that, and to shoot down the A-10 and a variety of other things. So obviously this poses a direct threat to our forces. This is something I'm sure we're discussing with China, but this goes to the alignment. You got Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. Those four are working in sync in things all around the world. So it's not a shock, but it is disappointing.
They also mentioned that China is routing the shipments through other countries to mask their identity. What can you tell us about that, if anything?
China's a master at that.
They've been doing that for a minute.
They use shell corporations,
especially with the precursor chemicals for the fentanyl.
The ships that come in can be under third country flags, different shell corporations from around the world. In fact, a lot of times it's not quite the same as the shadow tanker fleet with Russia, but when you start getting into who owns the ship, what country is that ship registered to, the flag country or the flag state for the ship. And then you get into, well, what is actually on the ship? What is the cargo that's on the ship? Who's the master of the vessel? Who's who's in the crew? You start breaking that down, you start finding that there's all sorts of nefarious things going on many times.
Okay, so let's jump into the most recent situation that occurred as 4 hours ago. Trump said the U.S. to block the Strait of Hormuz after talks with Iran ultimately failed.
A number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement.
A no deal. That's the word from Vice President JD Vance after negotiations between the United States and Iran wrapped up in Pakistan. After nearly an entire day's worth of talks, Vance was seen arriving at Pakistan's airbase this morning.
The vice president saying while the two sides had a number of good discussions, they simply did not come to an agreement, as you heard right there, to end this conflict. And so Vance added that one of the main sticking points is over Iran's nuclear ambitions. Does the 2-week ceasefire continue, or does the fighting resume?
A Local 10's Leanne Morejon joins us live from the newsroom with more details. Leanne.
And we have a lot of breaking news just within the last 10 minutes. President Trump announcing that effective immediately, the U.S. will start to blockade ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. He's also directing the U.S. Navy to interdict ships that have paid a toll to Iran to transit the strait. The president also saying moments ago that the U.S. is ready to, quote, finish up Iran at the appropriate moment after no deal was reached in these Pakistan talks. That news follows Iran's chief negotiator blaming the United States for the failure of these talks. The negotiations lasted 21 hours between the United States and Iran in the Pakistani capital of Islamabad. They wrapped up early this morning without finding any common ground on several main issues. Officials say both countries failed to find any commonality regarding the Strait of Hormuz, nuclear powers, and sanctions relief. A spokesman for the Iranian Foreign Ministry posted on social media that war reparations were also a topic as Iran focused on defending its country's rights. Vice President J.D. Vance says the U.S. will not bend when it comes to nuclear ambitions, and a failure to reach an agreement will bring forth even more consequences.
We just could not get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. We were quite accommodating. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to make any headway.
President Trump also demands the strait be opened soon, threatening that whether Iran cooperates or not, it will happen. Military tensions remain high as neither side bends, and Trump doubles down on his demands.
We win regardless. We've defeated them militarily. They've dropped a couple of water mines. You call them water mines in the boat. We've defeated all of their water boats, too. Their Navy has gone 158 ships. They have 28 water droppers, mine droppers, they call them. All of them are sunk. They probably have a couple of mines in the water. We have mine sweepers out there. We're sweeping the strait.
The U.S. military announced 2 Navy destroyers dispatched to the strait, starting mine clearing operations.
Wow.
Iran denies this, saying it remains in full control of passage rights. All of this as the death toll in Lebanon continues to rise as Israel continues launching strikes, saying the country was excluded from the 2-week ceasefire. Over 2,000 people have been killed in Lebanon since the war with Iran began, along with 6,400 people wounded. Israel reports the military is targeting militants as part of the terrorist organization Hezbollah, with more than 200 sites within Lebanon. The group is fighting for Iran. Michaela, Christian, a lot of new details here. I'll send it back to you.
Wow. Okay. So I'll have to do a deep dive on this here shortly, but I just wanted to get this out on what's happening and what's going on. So no peace deal reached in Iran with Vance. Trump said the United States will begin enforcing blockades immediately, despite Iran's claims that sea mines remain unaccounted for in the waterway. Following the collapse of the talks held in Pakistan, Trump said the United States would seek greater control over the Strait of Hormuz. Whew, okay. Well, there's that. I'll do a deep dive on this later. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what the situation is. Let me know what you guys think about it. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.